Today, I teach you Samuel Johnson's Shakespeare. This is in this chapter or this is elective paper called Literary Criticism. Though Johnson belonged to the neo-classical critical tradition, he showed considerable freedom in departing from the rigid critical canons of the tradition. You know, in neoclassical age, the writers strictly adhered to the norms, regulations fixed by ancient classical writers. While judging the works of art, Dr. Samuel Johnson did not strictly follow the rules and regulations of ancient writers, and he showed a liberal attitude while judging the work of arts. You know very well that Dr. Samuel Johnson occupies prominent place in literary criticism. His views on judging the work of art have made his successive critics to judge the works of art on different merits. He opened up new avenues of approach to Shakespeare's study by his reasoned statement and his appeal to his first principles. You see, while judging the works of Shakespeare, he has shown liberal attitude. At the same time, he brought out different kinds of approaches to analyze the works of great Shakespeare. His preface to Shakespeare is a monumental work or epoch-making work, or you may call it a classical work on Shakespeare called Preface to Shakespeare, is an important critical document in which Johnson shows remarkable freedom of mind and critical perception. His work, Preface to Shakespeare, has exalted the position of Dr. Samuel Johnson as a great literary critic. This document called Preface to Shakespeare clearly reveals Johnson's freedom of mind and a critical perception. This work or this document tells us about Johnson's approach while judging the works of art. This work, Preface to Shakespeare, gives us a lot of information about Shakespeare works. Earlier, we read Shakespeare works without keeping in mind the basic principles of judging the work of art. After reading the Preface to Shakespeare, we read Shakespeare works in a clinical manner so as to understand in-depth meaning in each and every, scenes or acts. Then, Johnson established Shakespeare's claim to greatness on the ground that his works have successfully stood the test of time. While viewing the works of Shakespeare, Johnson makes a statement that Shakespeare plays are immortal or very great because they stood to the test of time. So Shakespeare plays were written nearly 400 years back. Even today, in all the universities, even undergraduate level and graduate level and postgraduate level, you find the plays of Shakespeare. It means they stood firmly against the testing times because as these plays contain human emotions, human feelings common to every generation. So human beings, nature may be the same. Though we live in different generations, though we live in different periods, and every play of Shakespeare reflects our own emotions. So once you start reading a Shakespearean play, you find your own character. You find your own emotion or idea or thought well projected by Shakespeare. That's why generations after generations still wish to read Shakespeare plays. The reason behind it is human follies, human virtues are well projected, are well depicted. That's why Johnson appreciates Shakespeare's greatness of his works and makes Shakespeare and applauds Shakespeare as one of the best dramatists of all ages. The reason behind it is his plays stood to the test of time. That means they continue to enjoy popularity ever since they came into public. And they assume dignity of classics. So all the classical features we find in Shakespearean plays. Unity of time, unity of action. Sometimes, you see, Shakespeare slightly violated unity of time and unity of place and unity of action, these three unities at certain points. But while he strictly adhered to it and make his dramas extremely popular with his novelty, with his creativity. His plays are a true reflection of general humanity. His plays are a true reflection of humanity. As I said earlier, all his plays beautifully project what? Human emotions, human feelings, human ideas, human thoughts, human feelings. So, his plays represent humanity. Humanity of not particular age, but humanity of all ages. They contain universal, unchanging aspects of human nature. So, Shakespeare has projected human nature universally. Emotions of human beings in different situations are same in any country. Emotions and feelings may not change depending on nativity or region. They continue to be the same. So that is the reason why Shakespeare plays have got universal appeal. His characters are typical of mankind and are stimulated by genuine common emotions and passions. His characters are common characters. All, you see, the people you find before your eyes, you can also find in Shakespearean plays. That means people find their true reflections in Shakespeare's plays. His originality lies in the construction of plots and realism of his dialogues. So Shakespeare is so great, thus he beautifully weaves the scenes in a such a way that he creates plot, logically arranging the scenes, creating lot of suspense and surprise, connecting emotions leading to a particular point. So his plot construction is supreme. Sometimes we find in his plays plot within the plot, main plot and a subplot. For instance, in King Lear, you find the main plot as well as the subplot. So he is known for creating a wonderful plot in main plot in one play. In some of his plays, you find two plots, main plot and subplot. Here also, he surpasses all his contemporaries in constructing the plots, arrangement of scenes in a such a way that they appeal to our emotions well. What is unique in Shakespeare is his maintaining distinct individuality of every one of his dramatic creations. So novelty is a specialty of Shakespeare. All his plays differ from one another in its exposition of human nature. For instance, you take all Shakespeare's four tragedies. For instance, Othello, suspicion leading to his downfall. Suspicion is projected here. Then Othello, suspicion. King Lear, over-ambitious. Not over-ambitious, but pride in nature. Hamlet, indecision. Macbeth, ambitious, greedy nature. So in every play, you find different kind of emotions expressed in different ways, and each play is different from other in expressing emotions. That is the reason each Shakespeare play has got some unique features. That's why they enjoy popularity even today. All comedies are not the same. All tragedies are not the same. Each play differs from another in its message or in its ending. That is why Samuel Johnson appreciates Shakespeare's dealing of plot, Shakespeare's writing skill, Shakespeare's perception of human nature. Though Shakespeare did not observe three unities, unity of time and unity of place and unity of action, Shakespeare does not find fault with him. So unity of action, unity of time, unity of place. These are the three unities every dramatist has to follow while writing drama. But Shakespeare violates these three unities, but Samuel Johnson doesn't find fault with him. He admires Shakespeare for his themes he has dealt with, and he appreciates the theme selection of Shakespeare. Shakespeare's theme selection is unique, is matchless. In each play, theme contains a kind of message that we infer from his plays. They are universal in their appeal. So every play is universal in its appeal. So every play gives you some message. What happens to Othello because of his suspicion? So same kind of suspicion, if you possess, same result may occur to you also. Ambitious nature of Macbeth leading to his downfall. Greedy nature, personal ego, all these flaws will certainly bring our downfall, as it happened in Macbeth's case. So Shakespeare plays have universal themes, have universal appeals. It depends on how you are able to derive the sense which is kept in each dialogue, or the meaning you get out of his themes. The characters, the incidents, and the plots are true to life. So Shakespeare plays are very near to our lives. They are very near to our life. And some critics call Shakespeare plays are mirrors. So when you read a book, you find your own self. So Shakespeare play is a mirror where you can find your own reflection. It means you find your representation in the form of Shakespearean characters. So that is the reason why Shakespeare plays are very near to human life. That is the reason why they continue to receive readership, popularity, and appreciation. Comedies, tragedies, tragic, historical plays, all are popular. All the plays of Shakespeare, comedies, tragedies, and tragedy comedies, and historical plays, all are extremely popular. Shakespeare is a genius of all times. Shakespeare is a genius. No one is comparable to him. He's a genius. He's a genius in understanding human psychology. He's a genius in exposing human vices and virtues. He's a wonder of our age. He's endowed with keen perception and deep insight, and he has the ability to enter anybody's heart and know the feelings and emotions and present it in a clinical way in his plays. These are the excellencies in the plays of Shakespeare according to Johnson. So Dr. Johnson While appreciating Shakespeare's greatness as a dramatist, he gives a number of instances why Shakespeare is great. Shakespeare has universal appeal. Shakespeare plays are very true to his life. Shakespeare themes are universal. Shakespeare wonderfully projects human nature, and he also expresses human follies. And Shakespeare, Johnson is little bit liberal while estimating Shakespeare, and Dr. Johnson doesn't find with Shakespeare when Shakespeare doesn't strictly adhere to the norms of unity of time, unity of action, and unity of place. This is about Shakespeare, Dr. Johnson's appreciation of Shakespeare as a dramatist. Thank you.